Hello everyone, and welcome back to Disney News Channel. Today I'm doing a review for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Before I saw this movie, I was excited to see it and thought this would be a big multiversal movie with lots of variants, but it let me down. The opening scene where Janet meets Kane is pretty cool and introduces him right away with some fun action from Janet. Janet and Kane did have some nice chemistry and acting in their flashbacks, but they don't say anything, and you can tell they understand each other, and that they both were sent there for no reason of their own. And I am impressed they introduced Kane so early in the story. Even if they didn't do anything with him, in the next scene, we get reintroduced to Scott Lang, who is made very sympathetic and funny. After 3 Ant-Man movies, we are finally exploring the quantum realm. This is a lost opportunity because we could have explored the quantum realm in great detail, but the only thing we learn about it is probability storms. Most of the other concepts we learn about are taken as a joke, like the goo you drink to understand the quantum realm people. Kevin Feige said this movie will be important, but nothing has happened in this movie except for Kane and the post-credit scenes, which I will talk about later. Kane is a great villain, but it's held back by the lack of explanation to what he is and not moving the overall story. Kane also has some nice scenes with Janet after she gets stuck with him, but lacks the emotion and connection from Kane. We could have had something really cool where Kane was actually starting to really like Janet and started to feel conflicted about wanting to take over the multiverse. But instead, he's just a one-note stereotypical villain. The other villain, MODOK, when the other villain, MODOK, was announced as part of this movie, I was excited because I did not know much about him except for the Avengers game. But in this movie, he doesn't have a story, and Darren Cross should not have played him. Besides him being someone else, he still doesn't have anything to do. His redemption is also handled pretty sloppily because it only comes at the very end, and all his redemption includes is one line from Cassie saying, "Don't be a dick." The new characters are so forgettable because they give us no time to get to know them. We get one scene with them and then they come back in the final act. Kryla and Hank have some interesting conflict, but it doesn't go anywhere, and after one scene, they don't talk about it again. The character also adds no conflict or tension between Janet and Hank. Not only does he not show up again, but he is not even mentioned. They also tell us when Janet was in the quantum realm, she had a little bit of a romance with Kryla, but they didn't make it clear what they saw in each other. When Kryla makes his appearance again, apparently he's evil now, with no build-up or hints. If Kryla wasn't supposed to be a main player in this movie, why would you even say that he had a romance with Janet, since that is something you need a lot of runtime development to make believable. The Resistance is also an idea with potential, even if it rips off Star Wars. But it doesn't even have any focus in this story, and they have nothing to do. This Resistance gets no backstory with the effects that Kane has on them, and Kane doesn't even have a scene with them until the end. During the final climax, they don't even meet each other, since Kane is fighting from a distance. The new characters on this team should not even be there, and Kane should not have died. Instead, this should have been the origin story for the rebellion, where we meet those new characters and they decide to lead the new rebellion against Kane. The movie says Janet has some sort of deep trauma while she was in the quantum realm. But aside from the one flashback where Janet finds out Kane is evil, there was no further explanation. When the movie was announced, I was looking forward to learning about her time in the quantum realm. But aside from a few throwaway lines, we don't know anything about her. Janet also doesn't have a time where she confronts Kane for lying to her and for the trauma he caused her. Instead, Hope takes all the chances she has to talk to Kane. Instead of Scott sacrificing himself, I feel it should have been Janet who stayed behind, believing it would bring her peace, and her daughter Hope or Hank coming back for her, saying that she doesn't need to do this and that she needs to forgive herself. This movie is also supposed to be an origin story for Cassie, but her story and arc are sidelined in favor of Scott Lang. She also has nothing to do, since all the opportunities she has to do something is given to her father. Cassie's whole purpose is just to force Scott's Lang development. This movie is also completely told from her dad's perspective, so the movie never explores why she feels compelled to help, or what she has been through. The ending, where they are celebrating Cassie's birthday early because her dad wasn't around for her past birthdays, is ruined because they don't explore what the impact of that was. In fact, they make it seem like she was perfectly fine with it. The final thing is that her powers are just a copy of her father's, meaning there is nothing special about her being a hero. Hope and Hank also have no purpose and feel like they are just there for the ride. Hank has one moment at the end where he finds out that there are ants in the quantum realm, but isn't really set up or explained besides Hank sensing something weird. Hope has only one scene that means anything at the very end where she goes back to help Scott. However, I feel this movie would have been more powerful if she didn't. I also feel Cassie getting powers and becoming a hero would make more sense if her dad didn't make it. The ending also could have finally given the multiverse story a plot line that would have led up to Secret Wars. After all of that, the only thing left to talk about is the post-credits scene, where we meet the Kane variants, which blew my mind and made me wonder, why didn't they just expand that scene into the whole movie and make it a Council of Kings movie? The second post-credit scene was a setup for Loki Season 2 and introduced Victor Timely, who I'm excited to see in Loki Season 2, but why was he not in the first post-credit scene with the rest of the Kings? In the end, I am pretty disappointed at this movie, but it has two pretty cool post-credit scenes, which you could very easily just watch online. So just skip this movie and just watch the post-credit scenes online. Anywho, that is all for now, everybody. Please like and subscribe. It would mean so much to me.